Family, we back. I'm finna keep this short, sweet, to the point. Like, comment, share, subscribe, watch them ads. Support me, damn it. We in the Cindy Chronicles. We invested. Now listen, y'all, this is part 3, and this is some interesting shit. Now, I can't even click this shit fast enough, y'all. Let's get it.
This video must be getting like long and juicy because I ran out of storage, so I'm back. I hope you guys can see me. Okay, so what I was saying was, of course we have disagreements in our relationship, but we were not that relationship that scream and holler and cuss. You know, we were more like, let's talk things out, blah, blah, blah. So I always said that once you start hitting in a relationship, it's over. Like, facts. It's a wrap. Once you start fighting and hitting,
that's the truth.
It's kind of like you could bust out into a fight at any time.
Yeah, because the line is already being crossed. You already done crossed it. So once that line is crossed, it's like it's gonna go back. It's gonna be full circle. That is a very true sentiment.
When I was in relationships with my kid's dad or whatever, we had a lot of abuse. And when I say abuse, like if he didn't like something, he would hit. So I always promised myself that I ever got in a relationship that I was happy with, I would never hit.
Facts.
Because once you hit that one time and you don't stop it, like it's like you bust out to a fight at any time. So I was always that person, we don't hit. So now she's telling me that I poked her in her eye and she's screaming like, oh, my eye. And I'm like, okay, I didn't mean to poke you in your eye, but I need answers. And I need answers now. Like
And first of all, I ain't apologizing shit when I just got finished cleaning up a crime scene. You feel me? So you could just shut that shit up.
Need to know
my eye,
right now,
nigga. You lucky I ain't blacked the other one.
In that room. And I'm not accepting that y'all were drinking. I'm not accepting any of that because I found all this stuff. Like the bed is full of blood, like a murder scene. What did y'all like? Were y'all? I can't even like the thought of trying to picture it makes me sick to my stomach. What was going on while she was on her cycle? Because that is disgusting. You barely even know her. She had literally just told me that when she went on a cruise with her parents, she met a guy and a girl, and she slept with them both unprotected, and she had just met him. So I'm like, and by the way, she got the guy's number and was still talking to the guy behind the girl's back because she was like, I don't want the girl. The guy was fine. Okay, so that was just a part of her character. That's who she was.
I don't even think I could be friends with a person like that.
She just had sex with somebody on a cruise, no protection, and she's on her cycle, blood all over the bed. What could have possibly been? So now I'm just like, no, I need to know. I need answers. Come on now. I need to know what's going on. Wake up right now. Get up. And she's, you scratched me in the eye. I'm over here feeling sorry for her because now I didn't sit here and poked her in the eye, not realizing that she's deflected from answering the question.
You too sweet, pumpkin.
So she's looking me in my face and she's like, Cindy, I got something to tell you. I was like, okay. She said, I don't know what happened. I was like, what? I blacked out. I don't know what I was doing in there, but I could tell you now, I would never do anything inappropriate. I would never do that. She was like, she admitted to taking the unprescribed drugs, pills, and she admitted that she had mixed alcohol with it, a lot of alcohol, and she blacked out. She was like, I don't know what. All I could tell you is I didn't do anything appropriate. So I'm like, if you didn't do anything inappropriate, then why? If you didn't do anything inappropriate, why was the door closed? Why would you even go in there? Like, what? I just still have questions.
Did you look at her shirt?
I did ask her.
Her shirt would tell a story.
If you can remember that you did nothing inappropriate, why can't you remember anything else? So at this point now, I know something happened. I'm texting Tricky Trina. I'm like, we need to meet up now because my ex is saying she don't remember anything. I need you to tell me what happened. Do you know this heifer gonna tell me? Girl, I've been taking vegetables and everything trying to remember, and I just can't remember nothing. She was like, all I know is
She been taking vegetables. Is that what she said?
Because my ex is saying she don't remember anything. I need you to tell me what happened. Do you know this heifer gonna tell me? girl, I've been taking vegetables and everything trying to remember, and I just can't remember nothing. She was like, all I know is when I woke up, you were in the room questioning your ex.
Did this bitch really say she been eating carrots to try to get her recollection back? Bro, hell no.
And I think she might have did me
The
something.
way that she would have punched,
like,
I would have
so
punched
you
her
think
so
my ex
hard.
did you something? She was like, yeah, because think about it. I'm in the room by myself, sleep, and I wake up. I say, your panties were behind the bed. Yes, that's the thing. I wake up and my panties were gone. I don't know what she did to me. I feel like I need to know what happened too. So I'm like, oh my goodness. My ex is not the type of person to rape nobody, right? So I'm asking my ex, are you sure what happened? Because now she's accusing you of maybe coming in there touching her, raping her or something. Like, now I really need answers because this is not making any sense to me. And then at the same time, I'm feeling like a horrible friend because, oh my gosh, what if my ex was so messed up that she went in there and touched Tricky Trina, and I'm accusing Tricky Trina of something going on, and maybe she was really asleep. All kind of stuff is going through my head because I'm actually really at this point believing my ex based off what my son said.
I just gotta shout her out for how rational she is in this situation. Because I wouldn't have thought about neither one of those scenarios. Because I would have already been elbowing folks in the room. I'm not lying. Because I know my brain ain't finna make me feel a certain way that my heart is making me feel too. You feel me? It's one thing when it's just, when they both on the same accord, you gotta act. You gotta strike. You gotta lay off in the cut and you gotta pounce. Because this is some sucker shit.
He was like, Mama, she been getting really loaded lately. Like, she would fall down in the hallway. She would, he would have to bring her to bed at night. Like, she had been doing so much stuff out of the ordinary. Okay, so she did have like some weird behavior. But I didn't think it was enough for us to, I thought that she had just started drinking a lot.
And fuck everything else too, bitch. You need to come over here right now and clean this shit up. You left this motherfucker like a client. Come and get these nasty ass panties. Come and scrub my grandson's room. Get these sheets. Replace these. What the fuck? Hell no. You got me fucked up.
So I know you guys are thinking like, I gotta be stupid.
No, you ain't stupid.
I realize in life that it's never a good thing to judge anybody because you never know what you do in a situation. Had anybody told me this story 100%, I would have said, are you crazy? All the evidence was there. Why you didn't do anything? But when you trust somebody wholeheartedly, like, it is really hard to, it's really, really hard to just, like, you trust somebody wholeheartedly with your life and they look you in your face and say, I don't know what happened. All I know is I say, well, if you don't know what I did ask, if you don't know what happened, I asked all kind of questions. Like, guys, I literally have like a 10-minute video, a 5-minute video of me just asking all the questions. I recorded me asking her these questions because I needed to go back and listen to it to make sure I wasn't crazy. I'm like, so if you didn't do nothing wrong and you were completely out of it, why didn't I walk in on you sleep? Why when I walked in, you were acting like you were turning a TV? Like, I had so many questions. But it all bowed down to, I had that woman in my house. I knew what type of woman she was. And I knew she had seduced my ex. And I'm not giving my ex a pass, 100%. I don't care what you were on. You made a conscious decision to go in that room. So you still were wrong. However, ain't nobody coming to my house and steal nothing from me. So as I'm asking Tricky Trina questions, I'm like, we need to meet up, blah, blah, blah. Tricky Trina said, I want to read y'all our text messages. She said, I can't believe that you're accusing me. You my sister, and now you're accusing. I'm going to read some of the text messages to y'all. Hold on one second. But I just really got to get into this video. Gosh, I want to read them, but it's going to make the video so much longer. And my grandson has a doctor's appointment in like 1 hour. So let me get into it. So she was telling me stuff like, I can't believe you're accusing me. I feel like you're trying to end our friendship over speculations, stuff that I would never do, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe your ex walked in that room on me. Instead of you checking on me, you are accusing me.
I need you to come and get these drawers. You feel me? I just told you it was a fucking crime scene in this bedroom. If you ain't gonna do nothing else, come clean this shit up. Man, is this shit crazy? Tricky Trina's a crazy motherfucker.
So I'm feeling, now I don't know what to feel because my ex is saying she blacked out. It's kind of like now their stories are kind of collaborating or whatever, because Tricky Trina saying she was asleep. My ex saying she don't know what happened because she blacked out. But for me, I 100% in my mind now feel like Tricky Trina tried it. The only reason why I'm talking to her is because I'm trying to get her face to face. I know without a doubt if I look in her eyes, I can see straight through her evil spirit. Like I just kept saying, come meet me, come meet me. She was like, well, I don't feel comfortable meeting you. Why? You said you were going to fast. I said, well, we don't have to drink. Let's meet for coffee. Oh, no, I feel like when I talked to my mama about it, she told me that I should not get in it. Y'all trying to bring me into this drama. I got a text right now on my phone. I can show you guys all the texts where I said, how is it drama when I'm just trying to get to the bottom of something? If you're really my friend, if you're really, really my friend, then why won't you ease my mind? Why don't you meet up with me? She was terrified to meet up with me. She was just like, So again, I knew it was her again because you're terrified to meet up with me, right? So I was like, okay, cool. But in my mind, I'm thinking, I ain't giving my ex no pass. But I'm not about to end my 18-year relationship because now we finally got a hump in the road. Actually, I started to think like, you know what? We needed this. I know it sounds crazy, guys. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm just telling y'all my truth, what I was thinking in my mind.
I'm trying
because our relationship was so non-confrontational. We were so comfortable with each other. It made me look at her and realize I love her. I don't want to lose her. And definitely nobody, this devil not about to come in my house and take my relationship. I'm not giving up this easy. This is our first time ever having an issue in our relationship, and I'm not going out like a sucker. My ex came and told me, she was like, I am so sorry. I don't know what made me go to that room. Can we please just go to Mexico or something? Mind you, our anniversary was coming up. Our anniversary was in 2 weeks. She was like, let's go to Mexico. Let's just go this weekend. Let's go. Let's get away. She said, I just wanted to be me and you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm knowing she feels guilty. We even sat down and talked, and I said, you don't have to tell me what went on in that room. Just please tell me that it was something inappropriate so I'll know how to handle that other person. And she said it was inappropriate, but she still couldn't remember nothing. She just know, and she feels that it was inappropriate for her to go in that room. She never blamed Tricky Trina. As a matter of fact, she was still taking up for Tricky Trina because she started saying, I was wondering why when I was talking to her, she wasn't really answering. I want to know, so is that the reason why you laid in a bed with her? You know, I'm still trying to blah, blah, blah. Again, at this point, I really don't care what happened. In my mind, I have made up that Tricky Trina tried to come on to her. Tricky Trina tried to seduce her. That something happened in that room, and I'll never know the full details. But what I do know is I'm not giving away my relationship this easy. We never had issues like this in our relationship ever. And whatever happened made me realize that I can lose my girlfriend. Whatever happened made me realize that now I need to open my eyes and start paying more attention to bringing people around my relationship, blah, blah, blah. But there's no way possible that I'm going to let this girl win, or I'm going to break up with my partner because of this. That's not going to happen. So I end up telling her, well, we can't go to Mexico this weekend because I had already promised my sister I would keep the kids. She had work. And I was like, but I will schedule us for the following week, which our anniversary was in 2 weeks. So it would all work out. So in the meantime, I just tried my best not to think about it. I went back to cooking. I went back to cleaning. I went back to going to work. I just tried to get back to normal as possible. And in this small period of time, me and my ex are spending time together. It's kind of like we were teenagers again. We were spending time together.
I just see, my problem is I'm a Virgo, right? And I understand forgiveness. I want to believe in my heart that if I already know in my heart that this couldn't have happened. However, if something like we had a bump in the road, forgiveness, I get that part. But see, my brain would be so transfixed on seeing that crime scene and the possibility of my significant other being a part of that crime scene that wouldn't allow me to be able to let shit go until I knew with absolute certainty what the fuck went on. Oh, no. My brain won't let me rest.
I would drink.
My brain won't let me rest.
But she told me, she said, I asked her what are some of the things, I'm trying to get to know what she liked, what I did wrong. She was like, well, you go to sleep early. So I'm trying to stay up late now, having a drink with her. We vibing. We're trying to reconnect because I'm trying to figure out what, if we never had this issue in all of these years, what in the world would make her do this? Is she losing interest in me? Have I become such a family woman that I forgot to be a wife or a girlfriend, right? So our spark is back. I mean, we having a lot of sex, right? Crazy. Like we having sex like every night. It's crazy. And I mean, in the car, on our car rides, even I never forget, my daughter came in town and my daughter walked in a room one morning. We had to hide on side the bed like little two teenagers because we had been, and my children, they so used to being able to walk in a room because it's like we never really, even though my children grew up around both of us. Hold on. Okay. I just felt the need to fix myself. I've been sitting here so long. My children, they saw affection. They saw us kiss, hug, love on each other, but they never really had to knock because, we'll be in the bed if we knew that we locked the door if something was going on or whatever. But we just had to hide on side the bed like two teenagers. We had literally became back, whatever we were missing in our relationship, that spark came back. So bam.
And you thought the period brought it? You thought the period ignited that spark? I'm trying to see forgiveness to that capacity. And I think I would be lying.
It had been like a week and a half. And we were just really, again, I'm not stupid. Something happened in that room. Again, I 100% feel like I know my ex. I know her. She may have went in that room and something inappropriate happened, but in my mind, she didn't, it wasn't her seducing. She was drunk. She was taken advantage of, and not giving her a pass, but I'm not about to lose my relationship over this, okay? Anybody who have dealt with this, then y'all understand what I'm coming from. I know it's going to be some girls in the comments that's going to say, oh, no, I would never. And I get that. I understand because I probably was that girl who would have said that too. But again, when you're in a situation, you tend to you never know what you'll do unless you're in that situation.
See, I think what I'm having is this, and it's like me, I'm not judging nobody because, you know what I'm saying, I have had my share of ain't shit relationships. I have been an ain't shit nigga. You know what I'm saying? I've been on both sides of the fence. So it's not like it's a judge thing. But see, with me, it's like forgiveness is one thing, but with my level of forgiveness and your level of disrespect have to be offset, okay? And this is the thing. It was the fact that you wanted to fuck this girl so bad that you lied to my son, okay? You lied to my son. Let's start there. Let's be real about this shit. You lied to my son. Let's take it a step further back than that. You drugged me. You might have put something in my drink because I know that I'm high tolerance. And I'm feeling this way. Because it seemed like to me, you probably put something in her drink. So then, the excuse would have been like, oh, we was all fucked up. So if anything did happen, the blackout shit was always going to be motherfucking the last excuse to use. You feel what I'm saying? So let's just start there. But then you fuck in my grandson's room. Okay? All right. That level of disrespect. It just, okay. And then the second of that, this girl is on her menstrual cycle. You don't have even the audacity to fuck this girl when she's not bleeding. See, it's that part that would have pissed me off because it's levels to disrespect. Now, if my wife is too busy just being a housewife and she's not motherfucking being who she needs to be for me, and this is something that's been ongoing for 2 years, and she might have slipped out and fucked somebody, okay, that might be something I may consider. But the level of disrespect in the home is just beyond me. You know what I'm saying? You got bloody panties. And then the first thing that you do when you accuse me, I mean, when I'm accusing you of something that I don't feel right, is I poked you in the eye? Girl, that's where I would have kind of looked at, all right, now you're not even respecting me as your mate. Because now you insult my intelligence. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Both things can't happen.
So, bam, about a week and a half out, she came home one day and she looked at me. I could tell that she was being weird. Like, she would do stuff like, she told me one day, Kaiser wants to go to Nique's house, which is my sister. I was like, okay. She took Kaiser to my sister's house. Mind you, my ex don't ever go anywhere without.
Y'all, I'm about to go right there. I'm finna go roll me. I'm finna roll up. I'm finna go pull me a shot. Don't tell me these folks kept fucking y'all. Ooh, don't tell me that, y'all.
It's always like we went places together. I might go places without her from time to time, but she never went places without me. That was crazy. Especially to my sister's house where she's an introvert, so she don't even socialize like that. In my mind, I was thinking, they trying to get their story together. So I was like, when she come home, I'm going to tell her stuff like, yeah. Now, mind you, I'm thinking that we good, but at the same time, I'm a woman. So every now and again, I still pick a little bit. I would say stuff like, I'm going to find out one day what really happened. So whenever you want to talk, I need you to remember as much as you can because it's going to come out. You know, I would say little stuff like that. So what I'm gathering here, not gathering, I end up getting proof. So she come home about a week and a half later and she looks at me and she says, Cindy, really? I'm like, huh? She looks at me with a look that I have never seen her look at me that way in the whole 18 years. Mind you, we were dating or liking each other or friends for like a year and a half before we actually
What it look like?
moved in together. We were living together for 18 years, but we were kind of messing around dating prior to that. But she was in a relationship and I was in a relationship. So we would just flirt. We were friends. So out of all the years I've been knowing her, I never in my life saw her look at me like that. She looked at me like she hated me. And I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on?
And you done gave her all that grace. Won't they do it? Make you look foolish all the time? You know what I mean? Like that's it. Cindy, ooh, I wish I was your friend.
So later that day, she walked back in there and she said, oh, so you want, me and my friends had this joke where it's a joke between friends. I would be like, ooh, I want some, and I'm going to get some tonight because they would always tell me, girl, you ain't had a man in a long time. You need to get some. It was a joke between friends. You know, we're never the way with our friends that we are with our spouse most of the time. You know, that's the time we get out, we have fun, we laugh, we whatever. So I looked, I'm like, how do she know that? Mind you, Trick or Trina hadn't been around since me and my friends made up this joke. We had this, okay, so me and my friends had this joke for probably like the last 3, 4, 5 years, right? But these are my real friends my real friends who I've been having since I was like elementary, middle school. And it's a whole group of us. But Trick or Trina was a friend like that. I didn't mix them. Trick or Trina didn't have any friends, none. Every time she got a friend, she would they would fall out. Of course, that was a red flag in itself. Now, when I did have parties and stuff, they would mingle then, but we didn't hang out. You know, it was, these are my friends who I do everything with. They're like family. This is Trick or Trina, who I consider a friend, but I began to get them mixed up. I started thinking, because these are my friends and they so loyal, that Trick or Trina was like them when she wasn't. She was an outsider and she should have been treated as such. Mm-hmm. My fault again, My mistake. So she would come home and she was like, oh, so you said this. And I'm thinking, damn, I only say that around my friends. But mind you, when Tricky Trina came back around this time, I said it a few times around her because like we went out to eat. We went to eat one night, the night before my birthday. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get something. It was a joke, but because maybe she didn't catch the joke because she's not in my other friend group, but I said it around her. But at this time, I had completely forgot that I said that around her. So I'm calling my friends. I'm calling all my real friends. Like, are y'all talking to my ex? They were like, no. Are you talking to my ex? No. I'm calling everybody. I said, y'all, I'm not accused. They was like, you know, we would never. I said, man, she's knowing stuff that she should not know. Like, she's asking me stuff that she should not know. And I was like, she knows something. She's getting it from somewhere. Maybe she felt guilt for what she did and she started digging into my life. I don't know. So I'm asking my ex, where are you getting this stuff from? She was like, oh, I searched your phone. Mind you, we never did things like that. We never checked each other's phones. So now I'm looking through my phone, like deleting everything. I'm trying to find out what could she have looked, what could she have saw. I'm like, man. So then, bam, she come home like 2 days later and she's like, oh, it was this guy who I was talking to because he had booked my daughter for a few events. Real nice looking guy, handsome.
I can't stand when people try to flip the script. You dirty dog. You know what I'm saying? You know what you did. And then when you just try to make somebody else feel guilty for a crime that you know they did not commit, I feel like it's psychotic than a motherfucker. It's psychotic. Are you serious? Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about that shit. You know this person did nothing wrong, right? You know you done did all the wrong. But you're going to try to make this person feel like, you know what I'm saying, they the one that's going crazy. Ain't that some psychotic shit?
One time he booked her for an event and me and my ex was together and she was like, do you know him? I was like, yeah, like because he went through me. I sent him to my ex to book my daughter. But we really wanted to go to the event. So, I mean, we went with my daughter to the event. So he was there. I was like, yeah. No, she was like, do you know him personally? I said, just talking on the phone with him or whatever when, you know, he reached out to me for my daughter, Nique. She was like, so has he ever been appropriate with you? I could tell, like, he was such a handsome man and he did try to get a little bit inappropriate with me at one time, but it never went anywhere. So, but women, we have intuition. So she picked up on that immediately. Anyway, she had asked me one time to make him unfollow me or block him.
Hell yeah, let's get a sub train. Everybody send a sub.
I put him in his place. Nothing's happening. Whatever. But, okay, I'm not perfect, right? I kind of like the attention a little bit. And like I told you, my ex-mama had been in and out our personal business and whatever. So at one time, 2 years prior, when me and Tricky Trina was still cool, we went to an event of his because, mind you, he was like 2 years before any of this happened. We went to an event in his that he threw. He invited my daughter to host one event, but then when he gave his next event, me and my friends went. Tricky Trina was there. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. You know, it was a little flirting here and there, blah, blah, blah. But nothing ever happened. Like, I never kissed him. Come to find out, he was married. I never kissed him. And he was really, really, really spiritual. Let me throw that out. He was a real spiritual man. And he told me out his own mouth that I'm like, well, how you flirt?
That nigga was a spiritual man, but he was still trying to get you, though. And married. Boy, that pulpit is something else.
With me, but then he turned around and said that he would never cheat on his wife because he made a promise to God. Okay. No matter what he wanted to do, he made a promise to God. He was like, I don't even like my wife. So my promise is not to her. My promise was to God. I told him that I would not, have infidelities or whatever anymore because of their past. He was like, he told God, if you get me through this, that, if you get me through whatever he was going through, that he would never cheat on his wife, blah, blah, blah. So he's a real spiritual man. Nothing ended up happening. He was a little flirting or whatever. But
Yo, you know what's so crazy? You can look at Nique mom and you could just tell she a sweetheart. And that's what makes it even more fucked up. Because you could tell that she's really trustworthy and stuff like that. And that is just like, that is so fucked up for her girl, for her ex to do that type of shit and her friend. Because you could just tell, like, you know what I mean? I'm getting into the series and shit, but I'm also picking up on body language and shit. And that's fucked up.
And it was inappropriate on my part. But mind you, I'm with my friends. You never think that your friends are going to go back and tell your person. Like, no, that's not going to happen, right? So, bam, she came home one day and she was like, I knew something was going on with you and Mike. I was like, what? Huh? She was like, yeah, so she started saying stuff and I'm like, hold on, guys, let me get a little bit more comfortable. Because my feet was cramping. Hold on, let me get this a little bit away from my mouth. She was like, hold on. She was like, I knew something was going on between you and him. I'm like, so bam, again, I immediately start calling my friends again. Immediately, I start calling my friends again. I'm like, y'all, are y'all sure nobody's talking to her? So bam, I went on ahead and bit the bullet, even though I said I wasn't dealing with Trick and Trina anymore at all. I'm like, one of my friends said something that had nothing to do with being related to the situation. Because mind you, at this point, I didn't tell anybody what happened with Trick and Trina walking in, with me walking in on them or whatever, because I didn't even want nobody judging my relationship. Only person I told was my daughter and my son and my daughter-in-law. Those are the only people who knew. But the fact that somebody was telling my ex something, like I was trying to get to the bottom of it. So I ended up calling Trick and Trina. I was like, are you talking to my ex? No, I texted her first and she texted me back and said, you are the one who told me that your ex would never talk to any of your friends. Didn't you say that? I said that. She said, well, she would never talk to me. So why would you ask me that? I was like, okay. Now she's getting the information from somewhere because this information is accurate. Right? But then she got other information behind it. It's like,
yeah, that's some sick shit.
Okay, now you're going too far. Some of this information is true, but some of this information is completely false. Like whoever giving you this information, they got hidden agendas because now they making stuff up. Like, what? She even accused me. She was like, oh yeah, so tell me which one of my friends you messing with. Oh, friends. First of all, you ain't got no friends. Second of all, that is gross and disgusting. I would never in life. So now you're making stuff up. But I could see how my ex.
That's that projection. She need her to do something wrong so bad so she can feel justified for what she did with that crime scene. So she projecting so bad. That's some sick shit, bro.
Would think that this stuff is true because you done got some true stuff that's mixed in with some stuff that's not true, and you're getting it from somebody who supposed to be my friend. So you think you got a reliable source,
yeah,
right? So my ex just coming home every day like, just looking at me like she hates me. So mind you, the very first incident happened on the night of January the 6th, moving into January the 7th. Now a whole month has passed. It is now February the 6th. But she started coming to ask me stuff like, okay, no, our anniversary was in February. So it was a whole month out. I was having the dates a little confused in the beginning. So now it took her about 2 full weeks to start asking me stuff. And our anniversary is coming up in 2 more weeks. So when she started asking me stuff, this created so much guilt inside of me. I could not sleep. I could not eat.
Shout out to you, Kernaya.
I found myself crying. Like I didn't know what was going on. I was like, man, things had just got so good after she did what she did. I literally forgave her and blamed myself. And on top of me blaming myself, I wanted to work on my relationship. So now I'm in here like, I'm in here just like, okay, what do I do? What is happening? She came home one day and I didn't know she was home early, and I was in the tub naked crying. She had turned off her location. We don't even check each other locations like that. Well, I don't check hers. But she came home one day and I asked her something about where she was or whatever. She was like, oh, because I turned off my location the way you did. The night we went to this guy's event, I turned off my location because, of course, I didn't know her know where I was. I was doing something wrong. I'm admitting that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not perfect, right? But how did she know I turned off my location? Because when I came home, she asked me why was my location off, and I said my phone, where we were, it was in a bad area. She was like, oh, okay. I said, so the lie I told her, she turned around and she said, oh, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I was in a bad area. I'm just going to tell you straight up I turned my location off. At this point, I was just asking where she had been. I never thought to even check her location.
She picking a fight so she can do some. That's classic bullshit, bro.
But she wanted me to know I turned my location off, just like you turned your location off that day. So I'm like, now I want to go through her phone. I'm like, I need to go through your phone, right? But
you don't even have to, boo. This is just a classic example of your best friend or your ex-friend, Tricky Trina, pillow talking to your ex. That's what they doing. You know what I mean? They find comfort in each other because they both did wrong. So that makes their bond even stronger because they done both wrong the same person. They give them something to hold on to. Ugly ass folks. Y'all some ugly ass folks for this shit.
She changed her password. I'm like, what is going on with us? Where is this stuff happening? I'm at this point now, like I said, I had saw something that was completely not related to the situation, but I saw it on the internet and it says, you keep your friends close, you keep your enemies closer. And it rung a bell like, okay, right now, I really feel like Tricky Trina is my enemy, but I got to pretend to play nice with her because I need to find out if she's the one who's telling my ex stuff. Because mind you, even though I know what I did was wrong, I had a certain way about myself that I love my ex so much I never wanted her to think bad about me. You know, our foundation I thought was so tight that I never even want you to look at me in no other eyes. I always loved the fact that she looked at me where she trusted me, where she, we could go. I used to like to go to the casino. I could sit at the casino overnight and she wouldn't even call. It was kind of like she knew that I would never do anything to cheat on her. I love that about her. So the guilt was
either that or because she was doing her share of dirt. You feel me? It's so crazy, man. Like, this whole situation is so messed up because, like, the ex probably was never who y'all thought she was from rip. This type of motherfucking behavior what your ex is doing just don't accumulate overnight. And this show ain't gonna just accumulate from no pill. You dig? And I don't like the fact that Cindy is putting all this blame on herself. You ain't did shit. You know what I mean? And she being so hard on herself when her ex is the ex is the perp, Cindy. You know what I mean? Stand up. You did?
Eating away at me.
DC, thank you for the 5 gifted, boo.
Disappointed my ex. And I knew that the guilt was eating away at her in the beginning, that she had disappointed me. So I was like, what is going on with us? Just help me understand. Like, I'm crying. I'm not eating. Like, it is bad. So bam. I
just want to be her friend.
And I don't even know if I'm incriminating myself with this one. I probably shouldn't even say I did it. But I was walking in my closet one day and I saw something. Prior to a few years ago. Now, mind you guys, when the incident that happened where Tricky Trina was with me, where whatever, that happened a whole 2 years ago. That just goes to show you how me and my ex, we didn't have these type of problems in our relationship. That was a whole 2 years ago, okay? So, bam. I came home one day. I looked in the closet, and I saw this thing sitting there that we use in meetings for work. And it records 1,100 hours. And it only records when it hears motion. So you could put it somewhere, and as long as it's sitting there, it won't pick up anything until it hears motion. I thought about it and I said, no, Cindy, no. This is invasion of privacy. Don't do it. But guys, here I am. I'm hating myself. The guilt is eating me up. I don't know what's going on in my relationship. I can't even bring up the fact that I caught her in the room with Tricky Trina, with blood all over the bed and sheets messed up. I could clearly tell that they were rumbling around and probably doing God knows what in my grandson's bed, which grossed me out. Like, the thought of it made me cry over and over and over again, so much that my eyes were permanently swollen. Like, still today, this has been months ago, and I still feel the bags under my eyes. So it's like, now I'm filled with guilt, shame, that now it's not just you, it's me too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let's go take. I didn't set schedules for lie detector tests. Go to lie detector tests, because I can tell you one thing I never ever did, and I'm not a saint, but I never had sex with nobody. Okay, never ever had sex with nobody besides you. So I was like, let's go take a lie detector test, because whoever's telling you this, they're adding so much stuff in.
I hate that you're now on trial without no evidence. You know what I'm saying? That shit is pissing me off so bad. Here you go in your house, in your grandson's room. You find panties, shirts, pillows, blood, pillows and shit thrown back, sheets and shit thrown back. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Pills and all of that. And lies. You find all of that with your ex. And you mean to tell me that she's coming in the house accusing you like she found that? Bro.
I never slept with anybody.
Ooh,
now,
I wish I was your friend so bad.
Because now I find myself,
I would have just went over there and gave you your Secret Santa early.
Trying to fix what happened a few weeks ago, right? Now, she's not really going to work. I'm going to, mind you, I worked in her office for 17 years, okay? Not just worked in there, like that was my full-blown job. I did have a full-time job, but when my daughter had my grandson, I quit that job so that I could work for her full-time and still have, because we could bring my grandson to the office with us, you know, and I paid my dues to society. I raised all my kids. Why am I working two jobs now? I might as well quit one, work for her full-time, plus I'm helping her in the office because her grandfather had just got sick. Mind you, she comes from money. Her family is wealthy. And we're going to get into that too. A lot of the reason why a bunch of stuff has happened. So I decided, okay, I'm like losing my mind now. Imagine me being in a house. I'm all these different emotions going through my head. It's a brand new year, right? So much stuff is happening, like it's making my head spin. It's moving so fast. I don't know if I'm going or coming. I'm just literally losing my mind. I have never in my whole entire life felt so empty and so confused. So I left home one day. I threw the recording in the basket under some clothes. And I left it there. Okay?
Ooh.
The only time I would come in and turn it off is like when I get home, because I'm home. And I just didn't want it to keep picking up on our conversations. So I would turn it off, you know, maybe when she leave out the room or whatever, but then I would turn it back on. I was getting up every morning, going to the office, working, and she would come to the office maybe around 10 or 11 o'clock. Now, we always did get to the office at different times, but she had started coming later. And then she would stay at the office later. So this went on for, of course, like I said, like 2-3 weeks. So I know something is weird. I know she's talking to somebody. Her behavior is completely different. She's looking at me different. She's coming home looking at me like every single day that she came home for like a week. Almost every single day she had a different story about something I did. And I know without a fact, because the stuff would be kind of true, but it'll be so much added on to it. Like, oh yeah, you was with this dude. Yeah, we went to this event. But she was insinuating like that we had slept together and stuff. I'm like, but you're wrong about that. So anyway, it was so much added on stuff. Now, bam, I would put the recording in, but every night I would just pray and pray that things get better. I just said I was not going to listen to a recording. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not listening because that's invasion to somebody's privacy. If I'm trying to work on my relationship, whatever happened, I don't need to know. And in my mind, I was still thinking that maybe it's a blessing that everything I did came out. I just need to be able to prove to her that it didn't go any further. So let's do it. You ain't
got to prove shit to her. No, skirt. Cindy, you ain't got to prove nothing to her. For what? I can't. I almost bit my lip. Listen, shawty, she's still trying to exert control. You feel me? It don't work like that. It was a crime scene in your house. She don't have options.
Whatever you want to do. I can prove to you that I never had sex with nobody. I may have talked to people. I may have did stuff around my friends. I'm not perfect, but I never slept with nobody. Like I was very, very, very intentional, and I pride myself on not doing that for sure, because I never wanted nobody to ever be able to come back and say that they had sex with me. Okay, so bam. One day I came home and she was gone. I was like, oh, no. Okay, wait, no. Okay. Bam. One day I was at home. I was fixing my grandson's scene. My grandson had a project for Mardi Gras. Mind you, we're early February now. And her and I were supposed to put this project together, to do it together, because it was such a big project. We had to do like his float, all that kind of stuff. So I'm calling her like, hey, have you left the office yet? Because we got to get this project done, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just in there. So she told me that, oh, I got a lot on my mind and I just need some time. I just need you to know I'm dealing with a lot and I just need time. I was like, okay, fine. She came home at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, when did we start doing this? You know, this is crazy. When did we start coming home at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, we didn't start doing nothing, because it's it. The end. It was a crime scene already. You coming in here trying to make me feel a certain type of way. Then you coming in like, oh yeah, this is it. This is it. Like the restaurant. You feel me? Fuck so you got going on.
About it, went over. I asked her where she was. She said, I fell asleep in the car. I just really needed time to myself. So I went to the gas station, and I'm thinking all this new information, whoever's giving her. Now, she told me she was getting stuff out my phone. So at this point, I'm guarding my phone, like going through everything, trying to make sure, looking at everything. I don't see nothing that could incriminate me, but maybe, right? Somebody's telling her something. So I'm thinking that she's heard all this bad stuff about me and she just needs time to be alone. So surely she's not doing anything. She's leaving here. She's not going to a club or nothing. She's leaving here in basketball shorts and a t-shirt. So
Cindy, that's a Stud's power pack. You feel me? One of these, some basketball shorts. That's when the nigga going to slang some dick. Hey, listen, I don't like this. I don't like the X. You know what I mean? Feel now. I want to go ASAP. I'm so aggravated, I can't even understand it. Listen, y'all, I want to be Cindy friends so bad because I know your heart is good. You can't do it, but I will bite them all. You understand? I will bite them all.
Oh, my mind is never going that she's cheating on me. But then the next night, she tried it again. And when she came home,
I'm sorry,
I did something so crazy, guys. I looked in her pants. I opened them up and it was like so much white stuff. Like she had just like skeeted or something. I'm like, what is going on? I said, is that nut? She was like, no, I always have that in my panties. I'm white stuff. Guys, she tried it again. And when she came home, I did something so crazy, guys. I looked in her pants. I opened them up and it was like so much white stuff. Like she had just like skeeted or something. I'm like,
I tried to tell y'all, shorty, that basketball shorts, that's the dead giveaway. She is the ventilation. You gotta have them Lucy's on so they can slide up in that thing. You feel me? I already knew what happened. When I heard the outfit, I already knew what went on. Motherfucker went in no car thinking. She was in that motherfucker trying to air out. She was trying to air out. That motherfucker was trying to ventilate that thing. She was trying to ventilate that thing, y'all. Swear to God, nigga, I ain't even gonna hold you, bro.
Like, what is going on? I said, is that nut? She was like, no, I always have that in my...
Bro, Jhaune said, is that nut? Yo, Cindy said, is that nut? No, I know nut. No, bro.
I'm like, that's nut. So I was like, you are cheating on me. And she was like, no, I'm not, blah, blah, blah. I swear to God, blah, blah, blah. So, bam. We get a third night. Guys, this is out of control at this point. I'm sitting in the car. It's like 12 o'clock at night. And I'm crying. Like, just crying.
Cindy, I want to hug you. You've been crying too much. Nah, we passed the crying. This is when we start riding out, Cindy. See, nah, you was supposed to go all up in that thing. It's Jhaune's. Check it out. You was supposed to go in there and say, it's fuck the draws. See what's really hitting like. You was supposed to get all in them draws. You was supposed to go play around with that to see what was really hitting like. It's too much evidence and you're not going all the way through. It's like the evidence is here, but you ain't sending it to the lab. You dig what I mean? We got to start sending it to the lab, Cindy. It ain't nowhere in the world that she should have came home at 1 o'clock. You seen white stuff in her drawers and you ain't going to touch that thing. You had to go figure it out. See the clues. No, y'all, I ain't hushing, King Kong. It's the truth. I would have been all up in that. No, because I know you. 18 years, I know everything about Bella. You feel me? I double dog dare her to come home with some white shit and I go up in that thing. I'm gonna touch it. I need to know. Fuck that. Y'all tripping this shit, man.
Because my grandbaby in there sleep. My son's at my house this night. I don't want nobody to know what I'm going through. So I am crying my heart out. Like, just like, God, what is going on? God, help me.
He telling you, Cindy. He telling you, Cindy.
I'm calling her back to back. Next thing you know, you could tell I was crying so hard because I didn't even realize she had opened my door and was standing in the door. So I was like, where were you? She said, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, okay.
God talking to you so bad, you praying at night, God, show me a sign. Next morning, Cindy.
She said, I just can't handle all the stuff that I heard. And I just been parking my truck, just spending time to myself. Now, mind you, this is what I'm thinking. Me and her have been having issues about her drinking,
so
right?
mad, bro.
So I'm 100% thinking she is covering up because she's been drinking a lot and she wants to go to the store and get those bottles after I told her to stop drinking. And mind you, I found the pills in the bed. She's trying to get high and don't want me to know it. So she's pulling her car over at the gas station or whatever, sitting in there listening to music, drinking, getting high because she can't do it at home. So I'm like, all right. So she walks in the house and she leaves her phone in the closet.
It don't even matter, Cindy. She done changed the code. You ain't got the code no more. You got the code no more.
Bam, I'm walking in the closet again. She goes in there, she puts her stuff in the closet, she go get in the bed.
I just play, y'all.
A text message come through, bing. I'm like, my antennas go up because you said you were sitting in the car. Why is your text message going off this time of morning? So, like, she had went, took her shower, everything, and left her phone in the closet. So I grabbed the phone. And guys, you know how if you send somebody a message, but you delete the message, it was a voice memo. She never sent me a voice memo our whole life. I didn't know she know how to do that. So this is obviously something that she...
I could tell you what happened. She probably didn't fuck that night. She was somewhere parked. They was talking and they was having that phone sex. They was doing something. She might not have got to her that night. But the thing is, whatever she did, she nutted. and that it might she had
learned. So I noticed that somebody hearted the voice memo. So I'm like, wait a minute. I look at the phone number. It's Tricky Trina's phone number. So I said, I asked my ex, I said, why is Tricky Trina messaging you this time of night and you literally just got home? She was like, I don't know.
Tricky Trina won't talk to you and come see you after she left panties in a crime scene in your home. But she would text this motherfucker, the one she accused of maybe doing something to her the night that they blacked out. Cindy, I wish I could go back in time and be your friend so bad so you could see how one is supposed to self-destruct. That's what it got.
So I looked, I said, I opened up the phone where her and I was sitting there together or whatever, and she was trying to prove to me that she didn't know what was going on. She was like, see, look, I didn't text nobody. She even went in her deleted message. She was like, see, look, I didn't text nobody. I said, but if you sent them something, because it said the hearted a voice
God
memo,
knows my heart. He couldn't send me a situation like this.
So
I
obviously you
failed.
sent a voice memo, you deleted everything, and she hearted it when you walked in the house. And you didn't think that she was going to heart it, so it didn't show me what you sent her. She must have sent her, I made it home or something, and she probably hearted it. So I was like, why is she texting you? So now I'm like, this.
For real, Katina.
They talking. In my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking, okay? I'm going to tell y'all what I was thinking afterwards, okay? So fast forward to this same night. I'm like, we didn't sleep that night. I'm just up all night questioning her. Why is Tricky Trina texting you? Why? Da, da, da. She was like, okay, all I know is earlier she sent me a message and said, are you all right? And I text her back and said, I'm good. And she hearted it. I deleted it because I didn't want you to see it. I'm like, that sounds crazy as shit. And at this point, I'm realizing that you have been lying to me a lot. We went squabbling over the phone.
Cindy. Ain't no way this is the first time you thought that. No. Your heart is so gold. You got a golden heart. You must be protected at all costs. And then you beautiful on top of that. But it is no way how you thought this was the first time you figured it out. You figured it out when the panties was behind Kaiser's bed, dog.
We fell down squabbling over the phone because she texted her. She grabbed my neck when I started questioning her about Tricky Trina texting her that night. When she grabbed my neck, mind you, we never had a fight in 18 years. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we fight now. Oh, we fight. Oh, guys, this is going to be against everything because I'm still going to court. But before you know it, I had socked her. Her hands were around my neck, and I socked up 2 times. And by the time I finished socking, she had 2 black eyes. I'm like, I didn't even know I hit that hard. But I guess when you're mad and you're angry, you don't even know your strength. So now she walking around with 2 black eyes. I felt so bad for her that I was.
No, you don't feel bad. You look at those eyes. You look at Coon and you say, don't fuck with me no more. Especially if you're going to forgive her. You better let Coon walk around that house and look at her proud. You did? The fuck?
Was like, I'm going to take you to the doctor or whatever, I
definitely ain't taking no doctor. You better put a little meat on it. Shit, fuck you mean?
All of this stuff. So bam, the next day, I had to take my grandson to the airport and my son to the airport because they were flying to Florida to spend the weekend with my daughter. So I was like, perfect, because everybody's going to be gone. I'm going to drive them to the airport and bam. On the way back from the airport, I'm about to listen to this recording because I need to know what's been going on.
Ooh, we about to get into the recording.
So guys, my grandson and my son missed their flight. So on the way back, I couldn't listen to no recording. So I was like, forget that. I'll just take my grandson to the parade with me because I was going to a parade that morning. I go to, after the airport or whatever, I went on ahead, got my stuff together because I didn't want to go to this parade, but it's like a family thing with me and my friends, and I had all the food that I had to take. Normally when for for Mardi Gras, we have food, all this kind of stuff. We all show up. So I had all the food. And again, I don't want nobody to know that I'm having issues in my relationship. So I need to show up as if, nothing's happening. So
crazy cool, can't leave me alone, Shawty.
I come home that evening. Her truck is gone. I'm like, where is she? When I asked her to go to the parade with me, she said she didn't want to go. And so she's been home all day and now she's gone. I put my grandson to bed and my son was in there with him, and I went and sat in the car. I went and sat in the car. I pulled up to racetrack. I ran in. I got me a bottle of Ciroc because
They sell Ciroc at the racetrack? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they do. They got the other end. I seen it. Okay.
Realized I had been going through so much. I sat in the car and drunk the whole bottle of Ciroc while I listened to 5 days of recording.
Oh, boo.
Starting with one day where they talked about how I walked in the room on them and almost caught them. They talked about, of course I could tell my ex was really trying to get information out of her because my ex kept referring back to, oh yeah, well, because she said she wasn't messing with this dude. She said she wasn't talking to him. I knew she was lying. And then the girl with Tricky Trina would say stuff like, oh yeah, she was lying. She was. And that's why I don't understand why she was constantly questioning me about us when she's doing stuff. So she's constantly telling her all this stuff that I supposedly been doing. And that's why I couldn't tell you guys why I felt like nothing was going on before that date. That night, Tricky Trina told her on the recording, that's why I felt so confident to tell you that she was on the phone with a dude that night when we left the club. Mind you, my ex drove her car home. So we were in a car together. She said that I was on the phone with a dude the whole ride home. I didn't even know a dude to talk to at the time. Mind you, the Mike stuff happened 2 years prior. That was like 2 years. Tricky Trina had not been around me in so long that she didn't even know that I wasn't even talking to this guy anymore. Like, I didn't even know how to get in touch with him. That was over. And when I say talking to him, like, I hadn't finally, my ex told me he didn't need to be following me. She felt uncomfortable with it. I deleted him, blah, blah, blah. Nothing went anywhere. That was in the past. I heard my ex tell her, she's been crazy, and not the crazy that I like. My ex told her that she walked in on me in a tub crying, naked. I felt so violated that somebody I love and trust so much was on the phone sharing my personal information with an enemy.
I wish you was not going through any legal shit right now. Because I go over there to Tricky Trinas and your ex right now and punch them in they noggins free of charge. Oh, this motherfucker here.
Me that came into my home to kill, steal, and destroy. I don't care. If somebody would have came and told me something about my ex, I would have listened because I want to know.
Facts.
But there's no way in the world that a bond this tight that I would turn around and become an enemy of my ex and betray my ex for an outsider with a hidden agenda. That devil came in my house to kill, steal, and destroy, and she attacked the weakest link.
But here's the thing that you missing, though, Cindy. It wasn't just one devil in your house. And I know you love your ex, but honestly speaking, if it's me, let me tell you something. This is something I always tell Bella. The only person that can infiltrate our households is the people that we allow in. Me and her. We the one that controls the portals. So even though Tricky Trina left her panties, a crime scene, and a whole bunch of sucker shit, the real devil was the motherfucker who let Trina into your house. That's it. That's all. And I know you want to kind of like be more mad at Trina, but see, Trina didn't owe you that loyalty, and this motherfucker did. The moment that motherfucker met your kids, met your mama, helped you raise your kids, lived in your house, the etiquette changes. The devil was sleeping next to you every night. Tricky Trina just was partying with him. The fuck? That's on some real nigga shit. Man, boy, leave it. Like, boy, I'm so mad for these. Boy, I want to beat both of these folks up.
Cheated on me. I was willing to take her back even after she cheated because I knew our foundation. They talked about, it was so much they talked about, guys. Like their first encounter. They talked about the night that they spent together. The first night that my ex came home at 1 o'clock in the morning. They talked about how good the sex was. Ooh. Tricky Trina even told my ex on one of the conversations that, she said that y'all's sex life wasn't, that I told her that me and my ex wasn't having a lot of sex and that her sex wasn't that good. And Tricky Trina said something on the lines of, she just don't know. Oh, well, maybe it's not good to her, but it was good to me. I was like, so now at this point, guys, I'm so full of emotions. Like I'm calling everybody. Had I known better, I could have handled stuff completely different. Had I controlled my emotions, it's so important that we control our emotions, guys. Had I controlled my emotions, things would have been done completely different. I had just had a whole bottle of Ciroc. I had not eaten. My mind was already all over the place. This literally just validated everything. So I sat there at that gas station. I called my ex back to back, because at this point, I 100%, guys, this is what I was thinking. At this point, now, I'm ready to talk. There's nothing you can tell me.
Cindy, we are no longer talking. The talk is up. The jig is the fuck up. We are drunk off Ciroc. We done heard these messages. We are alleviating talking. We going straight to socking at this point. Head locking, dropping. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm just saying.
There's nothing you can tell me to make me believe that nothing happened between y'all. I heard it with my own ears. I know what's going on. Now we need to talk about how we about to break up. How we about to move around.
Oh, we don't even gotta talk about that. Just come get your shit. That's
rewind,
it.
Rewind. That night, I looked my ex in the face after that text message came through. I looked her right in her eyes, the person who I trust more than anything in the world, and I said, Are you messing with my friend? She looked me right back in my eyes, a person who I trust, and said, I swear to God, Cindy, you never have that to worry about.
I would have cooned her again. She would have been back cooned. She would have been back cooned. You know what I mean? Permanent. I'm blowing sockets, orbit sockets, all that. Nah, see, you're not going to do me like that. You're not going to make me feel like I'm going crazy when I'm hearing this. You're not going to do that. And I'm not even going to waste my time and keep letting you just trip yourself up. I got the recording. I got the panties. I got the crime scene. It ain't even nothing else to it. Now, see, yo, the ex is boy, that motherfucker there, boy.
I would never do that to you. I said, okay.
Nah.
I know Tricky Trina trying to get at my girl. But at this point, I knew she trying to get at my girl. But when I see her, I got something for her, right? So I was like, I deal with her when I see her. I'm not about to call her. I'm not about to confront her, because why am I confronting somebody who know what time it is, who know what they did, right? There's no need to confront her.
So why you confronting your ex? Because it's the same virtues, goddamn. You know what I mean? Relationships, friendships, they run concurrent, parallel. Fuck that.
So bam. Oh, excuse me. I hear the
I
recording.
just want to hug
I
Cindy.
sat at racetrack for like 5 hours, guys, drinking and listening to all those messages. Bam. I calling my ex back to back, back to back. Can't control my emotions. I'm going crazy. My ex not answering. Her location off. I called her friend, her best friend. Her best friend said, I talked to her. I know where she at. She all messed up, Cindy. She messed up. A lot going on, blah, blah, blah. I say, she know I know, huh? She say, she know you know. She just was kind of confirming that my ex messed up, blah, blah, blah. Here I go, well, when you talk to her, tell her I'm trying to get in touch with her. It's important. Like I'm telling her, I know stuff. I know this. I know that, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. So, bam. I called Tricky Trina because at this point my emotions are so high. I just got to get it out, right? I'm wasted. My emotions not telling me control yourself, because if you control yourself, you can come out this with a win. I've been lied to. I've been betrayed. Like my emotions are high. I'm calling Tricky Trina. She not answering the phone. I'm blowing her up. She not answering the phone. I say, you know what? Forget that. I'm about to drive to her house. She gonna talk to me today.
Here you go, let's go.
Her, you know, I'm going at her, right? Yeah, me and her about to whatever. Her house is like 45 minutes away. Bam. This is so against the law. I probably shouldn't even tell this. But I was semi-drunk. Okay, no, take that back. I ain't incriminating myself. I was in the tipsy, okay? So I'm driving to her house, but mind you, she lived 45 minutes away. It's kind of in the boondocks. Now, I've been to her house, of course, before, right? So, and at this point, I got her physical address, but I'm just going off the top of my mind because I'm like, I had to end up pulling over, putting her physical address in because it's like some kind of back roads I normally always have on GPS, or she's in a car with me and directing me or whatever. So I'm like, getting it. It's a house she had bought like a year ago, so it was fairly new, but of course I had been there before. Of course I had her address. Of course I knew where she stayed, and I'm going to tell you guys why I'm stressing this so much.
The way I would have teleported to her house, bro.
She tried to lie and say, I didn't know where she stayed at, but that was a plot. She told my ex just to get my ex to her house. Bam, I pull up on her street. Woo! Guess what I saw?
Don't you say your ex was there, girl.
My ex truck.
Swear to God.
On the side of her car, in her parking lot, like.
Shut the fuck up.
Like they go together. I pull up, I look. Mind you, I never thought in a million years, come on now, if you're gonna cheat on me, you're gonna go to my ex-friend, you're gonna go to my ex-friend's house, knowing I know where she lives. You're gonna go to my ex-friend's house knowing I could pull up at any time, and then you in there sleep. I could tell it was full of drugs because I jumped out the car, I bust all the windows out the truck, which was so stupid on my part because it's my name. It's my truck.
Oh shit.
So I bust my own windows.
Damn.
But guys, they never woke up. Never woke up. I'm heated at this point, like I'm out my mind.
You go to the house, see your ex truck, bust out the windows, and they never heard nothing?
Like
them drugs and them are...
Imagine, like, if y'all can just imagine seeing this, going through this. Now, mind you, I just finished sitting here listening to, like, all of these recordings, like 5 hours.
Shout out to you, Cindy. I just got to say this. Shout out to you, Cindy, and shout out to you, Nique. Because I know good and well, I know you got a whole brand you got to take care of, but I know it took all of that and the grace of God to keep your composure when somebody did something like this to your mama. Because, boy, I'm telling you, I admire y'all because I got to be that way. I got to learn to be like y'all. Right now, I'm toxic. So if you my friend, don't call me with shit like this because we going to jail. We going.
Worth of recordings. And when I say 5 hours, I mean over days. It was probably like 3 hours. This is over days of the recording only picking up their voice while I was gone. it was so much information that I got from those phone calls. Like, I don't even think I'm mad anymore. I think I'm just trying to plot my way out of this. I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here because I really, really got to go. But it's so much more to it. Okay, guys. So I know I had to rush out because I had to bring my grandbaby to his appointment. Look at him. He's asleep. Hold on. Let me show you guys. Aww. He's asleep. But anyway, I am going to finish this video. It's coming soon. The last part was, let's see, because I just left y'all hanging, right? So
you got to the house, you bust out windows
that I put up to her house.
Yeah.
Bust the windows out the car.
Facts.
And I proceeded to knock on the door, and her son opened the door for me.
Her son?
Her son opened the door for me, and I walked in.
Ooh!
I walked into Tricky Trina's room.
Shut the fuck up.
Bam.
What you see?
They were in the bed butt naked.
Shut up, girl! They was not in that bed butt naked. Oh, that is cheeks. That is so cheeks.
My ex, Tricky Trina, was in the bed butt naked. Crazy thing is, the ex was so high. Mind you, I bammed on the door, right? Bammed on the door, bammed on the door. Bust windows. And let me tell you something. When you busting windows out of a truck with tinted in the windows,
it sounds big.
I had a bat that was in
it's
my
like
trunk.
Boo. It's like that, yeah.
It wasn't just busting. It was like
boo.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. It sounded like gunshots. And I had to hit it over and over and over just to bust.
Oh, my bad.
So it's not like this was light.
I'm so sorry.
These heifers was still asleep. They was high as a kite.
I would have took so many videos for evidence.
What happened is they decided to get together and have a pill party. They were high as the Cooter Brown. Bam. Y'all, if y'all think this is a lot, the story gets worse. Like, it gets worse.
Ain't no way.
So much.
Ain't no way, Cindy.
Y'all know I have to end this right here. So, y'all.
This is by far the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. Shout out to everybody who flooded my DMs for me to react to this shit. This is some crazy shit. You feel me? Hold on, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. There's some more parts, right?